We are here in San Francisco, Radio Row, the center of the NFL universe, at least for the next couple of days. And joining us now, a guy who's been one of the key members of the Pittsburgh Steelers, linebacker Alex Highsmith. Alex, welcome.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all having me on. Excited to be here.
Great to see you.
The other pass rusher, like the other guy that people don't talk about ever, but you're still awesome. I just hope you know that. TJ Watt gets all the headlines at times, but damn. I mean, seriously, what you've done with your career, and you're one of the better pass rushers in all of football, man. It's been awesome.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Had 9.5 sacks last year in only 13 games, so strong season. 14.5 back in 2022 with the Steelers. Definitely gets it done, and obviously the big story. Even though we kind of knew that it could happen and it was out there, it still stunned me when Mike Tomlin decided to step down. What was your reaction, and how did you find out?
Yeah, I mean, it stunned everybody. We had a team meeting after the game, and he came in and talked to us for a little bit, and he broke the news to us, and it was just an emotional day.
What was it like? The room was it like holy shit?
Yeah,
what was the reaction?
In the air,
it was just silent.
What, really?
It was just silent. And it, like I said, it was an emotional day, because we had lost the day before too, and I was just in shock for the whole next week, and Coach Tomlin, I'm super grateful for him. He's growing up. Thinking the Steelers, that's what you know. You know Coach Tomlin, and he's the only coach I've played for so far in the league, and so like I said, I'm super grateful for him for taking a chance on me and the Steelers organization. And he not only wants to be a great football player, but also a great man as well. And so he's truly a player's coach, and that's why I think it, especially for the guys that have played with him for a long time, that's why it hurt, because he's someone that you really, I developed a really good relationship with him, and it's going to be different for sure. But like I said, I'm super grateful for everything that he's done for me in my career, and just for the organization as a whole. And so we'll see what the future holds for him.
Mike T's the man. Right?
He's the man.
He was one of my coaches, and when I was playing with the Bucks, right? He was the DB coach there.
I hadn't thought of it this way, though. You were 9 years old when he got hired.
I was actually just about to joke about that.
9 years old.
Yeah.
Jeez.
19 year born.
Yeah. I was born in 97.
August 7, 1997.
That's all I know.
He was
That's all I
hired
know.
early 2007.
I grew up
I
grew up a Panthers fan, but everyone knows Coach Mike T with the Steelers. Everyone knows.
So what's funny too is because everybody thinks on the inside, everybody knows the inside knows what's going on, and I feel like this is one of those weird cases where we were kind of warning the public for about 5 or 6 weeks before it happened to go, no. If this ends weird, Mike T, he might be gone. He might be gone. You guys had no inkling of that? I mean, did you hear any of that noise, or did you just think it was noise?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was just noise.
You did, right.
In the day, I think we do a good job of just drowning out the outside noise and what's being said and whatnot, because ultimately it doesn't matter about what's being said outside of the locker room. We know that the guys in the locker room and the coaches we have and the staff, that's who we got, know, and so we don't listen to any of the outside noise and whatnot. And so, like I said, it was just shocking, and just can't say enough just how grateful I am for him.
Yeah.
So, Aaron Rodgers joins the team 2025. Everybody seemed to be excited. Made the offense somewhat better. Give us a little crystal ball. What do you think is going to happen this season? Will he be back?
I do not know, but I know that us hiring Coach McCarthy could definitely influence him to come back for sure. But I don't know what his decision is going to be. I know, just like Coach McCarthy said, we definitely love to have him back this year. And I love playing with Aaron for a year. It was awesome. Like I said, hope he comes back. And he's such a great locker room guy. Got to golf with him a couple of times too and whatnot. I mean, he's an elite golfer. He made me look bad, but just as a leader in the locker room, he was awesome for us this year. And a lot of guys respect him obviously because of who he is, and so. He's someone that I have a lot of respect for, not just because of the player he is, but also the teammate and the person that he is as well.
You've been there through Ben Roethlisberger, Kenny Pickett, Justin Fields, Mason Rudolph, Russell Wilson. How was Rodgers different from all the other quarterbacks you've seen in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think every quarterback that we've had has been a good leader for us, and like I said, I just think Rodgers, was also an awesome leader for us, an awesome locker room guy, and I think having his presence in there for an older guy, to interact with a lot of guys on the team was just super cool. And so, like I said, I got a lot of respect for him, not just because of the player that he is, but also the teammate and the person that he is.
Yeah. All right, so AFC North, we know you guys got pass rushers and you got all that, right? I want you to tell me, Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt stuff. But before I even get to that, right, I want to go, did you guys feel the Myles Garrett, like, oh man, he's going to break T.J. Watt's damn sack record here. We don't want that to happen, right? Was that like a real feeling in the locker room a little bit?
I mean, obviously we didn't want him to or whatnot, but I think the most disappointing thing about that game is we didn't come out with the win.
Right.
Being there, and it would have been cool to lock up the division. Instead we had a heart attack game against the Ravens to win the division.
Right.
But obviously, I feel like every time we play Cleveland, we know who Myles Garrett is. We chip him all the time, and so he's not someone that we're just going to let get one-on-ones the whole game and whatnot.
Explain him, like just watching him on the sideline, right? Just explain like him, TJ, the similarities and maybe the differences of what makes them, so awesome. Both
I mean, I think they're obviously two of the best in the league, and I think they have different tools in their toolbox. Obviously, Myles is more of a bigger like prototype DN,
like freaky,
athlete-wise, and TJ, he's just so detailed in everything that he does, from his rush moves, and it starts with his get off, like for both of them. But with TJ, the reason he's able to get around the edge so quickly is because of his get off, and it's been cool to like study film with him, since I've been here, and he studies, a lot, watching the tackles, like watching their stances. Whenever we have a home game or away game, he's always studying the live copy of the games to see, if it's a silent count, seeing what the head bob is.
Gotcha.
If it's an away game, listen to the silent count on a live copy. And so I've been able to implement that into my study as well. And so, like I said, it's just, TJ, he's so detailed with his moves, with his cross shot, with his ghost, and setting up different things and whatnot. And so, game record with both of them.
You've been with the team since 2020. The streak without a playoff win goes back to 2016. What is the biggest thing that the Steelers need to get over that hump and get that postseason victory?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely frustrating, especially, because I have been here 6 years, haven't been able to make any noise in the playoffs. And I think for us, we just got to, whenever that moment comes, when it's the postseason, like, we just got to execute, we got to play overall well-rounded game. And I know there's a couple years that, like, having a home game this past year was definitely disappointing, not getting that one done. The Texans were a good team, but we really felt going into that game that we were going to win that one. Obviously didn't end up like that, but in a day when we get there, we just got to execute, and it doesn't matter. Like, I feel like we got to be healthy during that time as well, and I feel like we were healthy going into it. So we just got to execute and play playoff football when we get there.
All right, so Super Bowl. You're one of the few guys that we've talked to actually that's played both teams, even though it was like probably consecutive weeks early in the year,
week
right?
2, week 3.
Week 2 to week 3.
Yeah.
But like, give us and I know they're a different team a little bit now, but give us the de facto, scouting report. What kind of impressed you about both teams?
Yeah, so I actually didn't play either game. Well, I played one drive of the Seahawks game that hurt my ankle, but didn't play the Patriots game either. But they're both great teams. Obviously, they're in the Super Bowl for a reason. If you're asking me for a prediction, I think the Seahawks are going to take it.
Okay, good. I'm glad you just came out and said it. Good.
If you're asking me for a prediction.
What is it about the Seahawks that makes you think that?
I just think they have such a well-rounded roster. Obviously the Patriots do too, but at a lot of positions, they're loaded. They got depth at a lot of positions as well.
Seahawks are a little more talented.
Yeah, and it's cool seeing what Sam Darnold has been able to do in his first year there as well.
Right.
So, like, even when we played them, they whooped us at home that second week of the year, and so they got a lot of depth in different areas, and they got a lot of great players in different areas.
Have you talked to Mike McCarthy yet?
I have, yeah.
Give us an idea of how things went, what he said, what the message is, how you reacted.
Yeah, it went great. I went to his opening press conference when he came to Pittsburgh last week, and then got to meet with him a couple of days later at the facility. So I'm excited for it. Obviously, everyone knows his track record. He's been a lot of places. He's a Super Bowl winner. He's a great coach. So I'm just excited for what he's going to bring, and we'll see if Aaron comes back. But if he doesn't, what he does with Will and Mason and developing Will, that'll be really cool to see. So it's been cool, and I think he's a Pittsburgh guy, so he has a lot of passion for this city, and like he was getting emotional in his press conference, and that got me excited.
A lot of fans were skeptical, and then when they saw him crying at the press conference, that changed their mind. I saw a guy out on the street who said that. I said, "What do you think of your new coach?" He said, "Well, I didn't know, but then, man, he got me at that press conference, got me crying."
It's like that should get you fired up, It got me fired up, and I'm like, I think he's going to be really good for us. I'm just excited to get things going. Got to meet PG, Patrick Graham, our defensive coordinator, the other day as well. And so
awesome dude.
Yeah, he's awesome. So I'm excited to get things started.
Defense isn't changing though, right? I mean, it's been there. I mean, Tomlin came in as a 4-3 guy, and they didn't change it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd imagine we'll be keeping, especially for the personnel we have and whatnot. It's the Pittsburgh way, you know.
That's right.
3-4.
Yeah. He'll figure it out. And he was in New England where they dabbled in 3-4 a lot too, right?
Yeah.
So he's got a good background there. All right, so I know you can rush the passer, but now I want to hear about the Alex Highsmith Family Foundation.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So we started the Alex Highsmith Family Foundation back in 2021, and basically the main mission, the main goal of the foundation is to empower the next generation, to empower the youth to build strong foundational principles in different areas of life, whether that's fitness, nutrition, education, athletics. Those are kind of the core pillars that mean a lot to me and my family. So me and my wife are huge into fitness, nutrition, athletics. So obviously, you know, she ran track cross country in college as well.
Damn. You got kids yet?
No kids. No kids.
All right.
We know they're going to be athletes.
They're going to be they're going to be
We know they're going to be
specimens.
athletes. And then my parents were both educators, and so I grew up in a household where you know, if you get brought anything home less than a B,
right?
You know, you weren't playing video games that week, you know.
Man.
So but it's been cool to see the work that we've done so far. I've done my youth camp for the past 5 years back in my hometown of Wilmington, North Carolina. Done different back to school events, holiday events as well in the Pittsburgh area. So those are really the three cities that we like to impact are Pittsburgh, obviously because where I play, Wilmington, North Carolina, where I was born and raised, and then Charlotte. And so it's been cool. And I truly believe that God has given me this platform that I have to be a blessing to others and to serve. And that's what it's about. And just knowing that I have the platform that I have is, I know I've been given it for a reason, is to impact and you know, be a light. And just to be the Man of the Year nominee for this year for the Steelers is just a blessing. I'm honored.
You're the Man of the Year winner. Man of the Year winner for the Steelers.
Yes, sir.
Right.
You changed it.
Yeah, the winner.
So you've already won.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, you've already won.
Your kids are going to have some get off the edge.
Hey,
I mean,
hey, I'm excited.
Man, who's the big in your family that you took after? Who is it?
I mean, my dad's 6'2".
Okay.
My dad's 6'2".
All right.
And then my dad's probably the tallest one in the family. I think on my side of the family.
Okay.
My
And he
Uncle
gave you
George
your
is tall
athletic
as well.
genes for the most part?
Yeah. But he was an athlete as well. He went to Chapel Hill. That's where he went to college, and so I grew up a diehard Carolina fan because of him. So yeah, but that's where I say I got it from.
Yeah. All right.
Most important question before we let you go: between T.J. Watt and Cam Hayward, which guy are you less inclined to mess with?
Cam.
Yeah. Why?
I mean, I train with Cam all the time, and there's been a couple times where there's been some things like where I've there was a couple times this past year like I ain't run a game I didn't run our stunt in the game one time, and I swear he didn't talk to me for the rest of the game. Yeah, he didn't talk to me the rest of the game. But you know, both of those guys though, I'm just grateful to have been playing with them for the past few years. You know, they're both our captains. They're our leaders, and so I've learned so much from the both of them. They truly make me better as an edge rusher.
Cam is going to be on the boat with me pregame for the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Me, Cam Hayward, Aaron Donald. Right?
Okay.
So anything I should do to
I
know
hope
about
they
Cam
both
that you want me to
squish you?
You want me to play any practical jokes? How is he swimming? We're going to see. I don't know. Right, but maybe I'll try to rib him a little bit. You can give me something.
Yeah, you should just do like a pass set in front of him and see what his reaction is.
Yeah, I don't want to find out. That's the problem.
He hit you with a little speed to power.
I'll be in the water.
Yeah. All right, Alex Highsmith of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll have plenty more from Radio Row in San Francisco.
Yo, thanks for watching, homies. We are now in the NFL season here on Chris Sims Unbuttoned.
Hit subscribe to get our weekly picks, game recaps, film deep dives, and much, much more.
Thanks again for watching. Subscribe, rate, review. Peace out. You know where to find us.